Okay, we're going to start a photo album tour. And we're going to start with one of the oldest pictures. It's a photocopy, but why don't you tell us a little bit about what this is?
Well, this is my great-grandfather's first child, and she was a daughter, and she married Johann Miller, and that's her family, the sons, and daughters.
So this would be how she related?
My grandfather's sister.
Your grandfather's sister,
Conrad.
so great aunt. Then.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
And this is your mom's side?
No, my dad's
Your
side.
dad's side.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the Schmidts.
And they came over from Russia?
Yes.
So do you know if this was taken in Russia or is it taken in the United States?
That has to be in the United States because they're big, and they wouldn't have been that big yet when they come over.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Let's start with this one here.
And this is Rachel's mother's folks. Lipperts. I think it says it on the back.
Lippert?
Yeah.
Does it have it on the back?
Yes.
Okay. And it's her parents?
Rachel's mom's parents, yes.
Oh, her grandparents then.
Right, her grandparents, yes. And then Rachel's great-grandparents are on that picture up there on that calendar. See that top one? That's the Chanky side. And that's her dad when he was a little boy.
That's Janky's side, so that's Elma Janky's Shots family.
Dad, when he was a boy, and her grandfather.
Because Elma is Rachel's sister.
Yeah, see here they are. Elma is on here with her brother and the other sister, and and then with Rachel. And then this is, of course, my family at the Schmidt. My mom here, and this is, where I was the big boy already. I had knee pants on.
Okay.
And this is the house as it was when we moved here, and this is the old barn that was here when we moved here.
Oh my goodness.
So, that takes care of the picture. And then in the inside is my dad. You'll see my dad in the inside. Keep going. Here. This is his second wife. That's my aunt, But that's when they were old.
Okay. That's after your mom passed away.
Right. And these are the two that are singing in this tape.
Okay. Should we play the tape right now? Why don't you go ahead and we can play the tape right now.
Okay.
Okay.
Now this is the song that I was going to sing too. Go Gott ist die Liebe, lasst mich erlesen. Gott ist die Liebe, liebt auch mich. Drum sag ich's noch einmal, Gott ist die Liebe, Gott ist die Liebe, liebt auch mich. That was what he was singing. Only he has more voices, you know. I mean, it's tunes, I mean, verses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was great.
I could add some more, but I think this is it.
And your mom's name was what again? Christina?
Christina.
Christina. What was her maiden name?
Bentz.
Bentz.
B-E-N-T-Z. Z.
Second row. So was religion really important in your family?
Huh?
Was religion really important in your family when you were growing up?
Yes, I think so. I mean, that is, at least that's the way I was brought up, you know. I mean, and they all believed, I guess, because I guess with the hardship, you know, they had, you know, when they come in here, I think it's their main help.
Where was she confirmed at?
At Streeter.
At Streeter?
Yeah. See, and that was this guy that Pastor Knuckle, he was the one that told you about the Bucky coming down to, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the main church where they confirmed at that time. I mean, at the main church.
Okay. Sorry.
That's Andrea and Magdalena.
That's
Andrew Chanke and Magdalena.
oh, that's your wife's
Right.
wife's parents.
Parents, yes.
Wife's parents. Rachel, right? That's her
Right.
name? Okay. Were they married in the area? Do you know?
Yes. Well, they were married in 1919, I think.
And then this is your
That's
parents?
my parents, yeah. And they were married, I know, in 1919 at, of course, in the Newdorf Church.
And John and Christina.
Right.
What year did you say? 1919 for them?
1919, March 11.
March 11. Okay. Did they ever tell you a story about their wedding at all?
No,
What it was like?
no. But according to the sled, it had to be cold.
That's a picture right here, right? Of,
Right.
of their wedding, so let's see that one.
And then this here is this is, oh, sorry about that.
No, that's fine. So they took a sled to their wedding, or were they
Yeah.
actually okay?
Yeah. There's snow. That's why.
They're all bundled up.
Yeah. And then these are the
Doesn't want to come off.
these are the table waiters, I suppose, and the cooks probably. And then this is, sorry about that.
No, you're fine. And these are at your parents' wedding as well?
Hmm?
This is at your parents' wedding?
Yes.
Okay.
And then this is where reception took place at Grandma Benz's house out on the farm.
Was that common back then to have receptions at
Yes,
grandparents'
yeah,
house?
yeah. Because even my folks, they had it. I mean, our wedding was up here at the house, you know, for.
Okay.
That's Rachel's folks.
Right here?
Yes.
This is Rachel's folks? Yeah.
Andrew and Magdalena.
And they lived right down the road from you,
Yes.
right? Okay.
And that's where they lived to start with, you know, when Rachel was born in here.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because this is the
Yeah.
house that she was born in.
Right, and then they took over the family farm up there. I mean, the Yankees, the ones in the cellar there, you know.
So then, did they have your wedding? They had your wedding reception. These
Right,
two held yours.
yes.
Okay. This one here is your dad's confirmation.
Right.
Do you know when he was confirmed?
1907.
How old were boys usually when they were confirmed back then?
Well, I would think depends on, like he could have been maybe 18 already, you know, because you know when you had a bunch, that's when you really, I mean, they put them all together, I think, and that's the way they're all there. They wanted me to, my son, he works with these German Russian in Bismarck, and then he knows these kids up there. They went to school with him that work up there, and so they took the pictures there, and then they said we would like to know the names of those people if somebody knew it. My son says, "Don't worry, send it to my dad. He knows everything, but I don't."
Yes, but that's children. They like to
Right,
think
yeah.
their parents know everything.
But there's a lot of information I do know, you know, I mean.
Well, here, let's put this one in here because I know that you and.
Yeah, that's the home place, the Pioneer Farm.
This is where you grew up, right?
Right. But I had to move, you know, my oldest brother was older than I am.
So this is you.
Right.
And about how long ago?
Well, I don't know, maybe, about 2 years ago, something like that.
Oh, so very
Yeah.
recent. Okay.
No, I was up there here the other day and it's the same sign.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's your brother's son that's running the farm. Yeah?
That took over now, yeah.
Okay, what do we have here?
That's seeding.
Is that you?
Yeah. Seeding with a drill.
And it looks like you have, what, 4 horses?
4 horses, yeah.
So how did that work? I'm
Well, you had 2 tongues, you know, and you backed 2 horses in the middle of the tongues and one on each side. So both they had to hold two horses had to hold one side of the drill up, all you know, so they could pull. And then it was all on discs, you know, where you seeded and you had a tank in the back or where you put the seed in, and then you had handles. You had to lift up the handle to set it in the ground on both sides. You could seed one side, and then you had, when you turned, you had to put the handle down again. And you had steps in the back where you could stand on. But here you're standing on top to get out of the dust. You know, you're a big boy then.
So how long would it take you to seed your farm when you were growing up?
Well, you know, at that time you didn't seed much, but you made 7 rounds in the morning, 7 rounds in the afternoon. And then you had to rest your horses. That's the way you plowed. You, mowed grass. Well, the mowing grass, you only had a slew, so, you were mostly done by then. But anyway, that's what it is. 7 rounds is what. So you'd say you go out at 8, and, by noon you quit, And then you went out at 2, then you quit at 6, or whenever your 7 rounds were done. Because the horses could only take so long.
What's here?
This is where my wife was teaching school. And the roads were blocked, so this was our bus. I was hauling her back and forth. She was 2 miles away.
Who's in the wagon right now?
I am.
You are?
I'm the bus driver.
The bus driver. I'm going to put that down. Bus driver art.
Yeah.
And then, who's that? Is that you?
No, that's my youngest
yours?
brother.
Your youngest brother?
Yeah. Edwin.
Edwin.
See, I was too big already, so I couldn't sit on there anymore.
Is this a pony that you guys had?
Yeah, Shetland pony, yeah. That's the troublemaker.
Is that the one that you broke your arm on?
Yes. Yes. That's the one.
How long did you have that pony for?
How long?
Yeah.
Well, until we were all too big, and then my dad sold it.
What would you use it for? Just to play with?
Just ride. Get cattle, get the cows from one pasture to another. Yeah. And, of course, joyride if you wanted to.
Do you guys ever race on the horses?
Yeah, not with this one, but
Yeah.
with big horses we did. Yes. Yes, we had our fun. And that's the schoolhouse over here that this kid was taking, when he videoed it. That was right beside over here. And the schoolhouse is over in the other place. That farm, it's tinned up now. That square building, maybe you've seen it.
Where is it at?
Right next farm over here.
Oh.
You passed it.
Have to stop and look on the way out.
Yeah, anyway, but it's tinned up all over now. But the blackboards are in there yet, and he's got it as a tractor shed.
And this is what your schoolhouse used to look like, somewhere?
Right. And anyway, it was right over here, but there's a REA post going in and a cement block laying on the north side. That's where the schoolhouse was. But he bought that farm over there, so he moved it over there. And that's me going out to get a load of hay. I didn't show you the fork. It's on the hay wagon, so I had to use a fork to pitch on the hay,
How long would that take you?
Well, if the stack was still high, it was not bad, you could throw it down, but once you had to put... So, a half an hour, pitch up a
I
load.
bet you had some really strong arms.
You had to, yes.
So, did you guys grew your own hay and everything on the farm?
Right.
How far did you have to haul it?
Well, it was, say, maybe a mile at the furthest. Depends on how your land joined, because there was 1 quarter here, 1 quarter there, and 1 up quarter, so that would be a mile that way and half a mile over here. So it'd be, say, about a mile was the furthest.
Okay. And what do we have here?
That's my wife at the schoolhouse over here.
When she was teaching?
Teaching, yeah. That was when I was courting.
How long did you court her?
2 years.
How did you meet her?
A friend of mine invited me to go along to a basketball game, and she was a cheerleader. And she drove with his sisters. So it was really his date, the other guy's date. And when the basketball game was over, I was sitting in the back seat, and here I come in, and she was sitting in the back seat. And that's how I met her.
So what was courting like when you were courting her?
Well, I don't know. You just went places, you know, that's about it. Shows, and I don't know, like here, you know, this is where the Luther League, you know, we went to the Luther League, and I took her along and went out to the ranch and out behind the trees. So nobody could see it. No. We had a picnic there, you know. I mean, that's why I invited her, and that's why we took the picture.
Said it was the Lutheran League?
Yeah, Luther League. She didn't belong, but I did. But I invited her to go with me. And up there, that red car, that 35 Ford Coupe, that was my courting car, only not in red.
Really?
Yeah, it was a blue one. And that's why I bought that.
Oh my goodness. So you courted her for 2 years, and what did her parents think of you when you first started coming around?
Well, you were bashful. You didn't go in, you know. But anyway, when her folks left, then she done work, you know. They visited, and then she'd invite me to come down for the day and help her. And finally, you know, got better and got better. And I think the most important thing was when I courted her, and their yard was so bad with snow, and I got stuck. And the father-in-law had to come out at 3 in the morning to pull me out. That really done it, you know. I don't think he didn't like that, you know. I know one time I went down to her brother's place. He lived a ways south. I was stuck on the road. I walked by my father-in-law's place, went down a half a mile to her brother's place. He was married already. And I asked him to pull me out, and he said, "Where are you stuck?" I said, by your dad. He said, "You know, I think there's one thing I got to tell you. This stuff has to quit. You better get married and forget about coming down here and get stuck all the time." So then I guess I got married, you know.
What was your wedding like?
It is a big one. I mean, there behind, in the back of that, is all that was served. Just open up the phone.
Oh, it's your entire wedding photo album.
Yeah, and this was the pastor, Hoyer. And then here, when you page on it, then see here it says, you can take that along too if you want.
Yes, this is fabulous.
Yeah. And that's when I was a dude there.
You are a handsome dude there, aren't you? Oh, and she is a knockout. She's
You ain't a kidding, boy. We had fun together.
She looks like she's just so happy.
Yes, she always had a smile.
How long were you married to her for?
2 months short of 53 years.
Oh my goodness.
And that's where we celebrate the 50th, you know, there. So if you want to take it along, you take it along, you know.
Yes, I'd love to.
But you haven't got your truck here, huh?
We have a car.
I know. I know.
No, we don't have. Oops.
I know, maybe.
Oh, that hangs up there.
Yeah,
Let's see, I just want this. We can take a digital one of this. Oh, how funny. Can you turn it off for a second? We'll just start with, this is a photograph of
Rachel's mom.
her confirmation.
Yes.
Where is she at in the photo?
Right here.
Okay. And then,
My aunt is over here.
okay. And that's your Aunt Bertha.
You're right.
Okay. And they were friends when they were growing up?
Yeah, they were dancing together. She was a dancer, and so was my aunt.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And so that's probably why Rachel was a cheerleader?
Yeah, and she was a dancer too.
Was she?
Rachel, yeah. We done some pretty hefty dancing, her and I, you know.
So could you dance then too?
But the only thing, you know, she done the old time polka, the hopping polka, and I couldn't do it. And then she got wild, you know, when she done that hopping polka. And then I said, lady, slow down. She said, shut up and dance.
You have to keep up with her.
I know, but it was hard. She was lively.
Okay, so this one here is
That little guy with the hair standing up.
that one,
Yeah,
front and center.
all right.
That's what, a schoolhouse picture?
Yeah, that's the schoolhouse in Neudorf. Up where the church was, there was the schoolhouse too.
So what were some of the family names of the kids that went to school with you?
Well, there's Miller and Morlux and Schmidt and Files and let me see. Could I take it?
Yep, that's fine.
And there was one of my cousins and Morlux. Yeah, I got Morlux, but there was a lot of Morlux, you know, living in the same. So Morlux and Myers and Files and Schmidts.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in this picture, are there any of your brothers and sisters?
Yeah, my brother is here. This one here, Eldo.
With the tie?
No, this one here.
Oh, right here.
Right. And this is my cousin Otto Schmidt.
Otto is the first one.
Yeah, the one with the tie is this with the suit is Otto here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great. I'll have to buy a tablet yet, huh?
I go through a lot of tablets.
I did. I can just about imagine that. That's my grandma Schmidt and my mom and dad.
Okay. Do you know about when this was taken?
Well, I think that was about maybe at the wedding or something like that, I would think, you know, around that time.
Do you know where it's taken at?
Yes, it's taken at my grandma's house.
And she lived near
Just-
Gackle too, right?
She lived out on the farm with us, you know, in Neudorf there by the cemetery. She had a house a ways away, and my dad had a house. We had a house separately. And then they had a sod house in between where their summer house, my grandma.
Okay, let's do this one here.
And that's where I'm growed.
And you, if I remember right, are right here?
Right there, yeah.
You remember what grade this was in?
I was in the third.
And this is out in the Neudorf school?
Right.
And you said, was this one of your sisters in as well? Like
Yeah.
that's Flora right there?
Yeah,
Or
she was the
Christine?
first late for Flora.
Christina's your mom, that's right.
Yes. And now here we have some boards in there and the kavitas that I was telling you. Kavitas, Ketterlos. Those were the Russians, you know, that went to our school too at that time.
Okay.
This over here or whatever.
So there's the alphabets on the blackboard. Were you learning your penmanship?
Right, yeah.
Did you write on paper at that time, or was it on a chalkboard
Well,
when you practiced?
we normally had our paper, but you had to do it on the board. He sent you up, you know, and then you had to, see if you knew it, or if you had to show off, and then you had to, like, show cards, you know. Let me see, where is it? In that other schoolhouse, you know, there was this, what do they call them, cards? Cue cards, not?
Flashcards?
Flashcards. He's got them set up there. See here, these flashcards.
Okay.
See, that's what, when they had them, you know, I mean, you had a holler. And then you had, with words too, you know, I mean, I don't know, he didn't put them up there. But anyway, that's what I know.
Okay.
Other than that, you had to put it on right, you know, I mean, if it depends on what you were doing. But mostly, it was oral.
Is there a lot of repetition?
Yeah. And that's my mom and dad and my sister, and my youngest brother's not on there yet. He was
So
not.
goes
Aldo,
you, and then
Flora, and the cat.
Did you have a lot of cat?
Well, I don't know. This one was always Flora's cat. Must have been Lester. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, I think so.
And John and Christina. Is this at the family house?
Yes, our house, the old house, yeah. And then this is what the family that was left of the Schmidts when Grandma Schmidt died. This is Mrs. Ackerman, and then it was my dad, and then Bertha Ackerman, and then Fred Schmidt, you know, her brother, and this is Mrs. Skinger, the oldest lady, the oldest of the Schmidts. Is it written there?
Yeah, Christina, Fred, John, and Barbara.
Yeah.
And then that's Fred.
And Bertha, not?
Bertha and Fred.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Cool. Great.
And now this is Grandma Benz and her family after Grandpa had died.
So this is your mom's.
Yes, my mom's mother and hers, and my mom's on there too.
Your mom was the oldest girl?
Yes. My mom.
She's this one right here?
Up there, up here.
Right there?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right there.
There's where's Grandma? Okay. Was that hard for your mom? Did she ever tell you if that was hard for her after her dad died?
Well, I don't know, because, you know, she was hired out, you know, before already. I mean, so I guess, you know, she really never talked about her dad either. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure it, but I don't know. I have no idea how things were then, but I'm sure it did. But you want this?
Yeah. That'd be
This is the Grandma Ben's. Yes, Grandma Ben's. You know, and then her sister and her brother.
Grandma Ben's is this one over
Right.
here, right? Okay.
And she's the one that was 90, and her sister was 106, and her brother 97. I think I got it written in the back now.
Yep.
And then his.
Go ahead. You can put your hand in.
The brother son got killed too in World War I, you know, and then her son got killed, both Meyer Morlock, and that's what I said to Legion.
Yeah, that's one that's buried in Germany and one that's
One in
buried in
France, yeah.
Let's do this one here.
Yeah, that's Grandma Ben's again. I like the background, you know, on that door.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. What is the door?
Well, see, that's insulated from the cold. It's cardboard nailed across, so the wind don't blow in. It is a screen door.
So when you were talking about the cold, when you were growing up with the cardboard, that's something.
Right.
That's what it would look
Right,
like.
right, yeah. Right, very true.
Okay, I've never seen that before.
And that's Grandma Ben's shed, on the back. Yeah, I spent many days in there. And that's St. James Church up here.
That's no longer
No,
Yeah.
but anyway, it was up here, but this is the inside now, And then if you ever take a picture, there's a picture of the church on that monument, and the year of the church when it started.
Do you know when they tore this church down? Did they tear it down or did they just
Well,
leave it?
they sold it, and then Rachel's brother bought it,
Oh.
and he moved it down to his farm, and then there's a fire, and then it burned. I mean, the church burned, the house burned, and So anyway, he used it as a machine shed or a tractor shed.
Whose funeral is this?
That's Rachel's mom.
Magdalena, right?
Right.
And that'd be Janky.
Shanky, yeah. Lippert.
Lipper.
And then here's a list of Jacobus. These are all the people that started the church. From the Jacobus here down. This church. These are the people that started the St. James Church.
Okay.
In English it's St. James,
Mm-hmm.
but in German it's Jacobus.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, I
So
thought.
Gottlieb Pressler, that would be Leroy's grandfather.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Let's get that right. Okay. And then this is.
Rachel's tombstone, and the farm is back here, our farm. You can see it in the background.
So she's buried in St. James?
Right.
Okay. And she died, what year did she die in?
1999.
And I'm not sure if we talked about it on camera, but she died of
Cancer.
Cancer. And then you're going to be buried right next to her.
Right.
Corpse. Okay. How about that big one back in that bag? That one there.
Well, that's another confirmation picture. One of my aunts is supposed to be, I think it's her, Lydia Fisher.
This one here?
Yeah, that's what I think. But well, anyway, this gal wanted to know asked the names of these people. She was from Streeter, and she wanted a picture of her dad. Well, they thought I knew I had a picture of her dad. Well, come on.
Do you remember your confirmation?
Yes.
What was it like?
Well, we had 11 boys and 1 girl. It's German. And we had it in the Streeter schoolhouse. I have a picture someplace too, but I don't want to show it to you. I'd have to find it first. And I had a nice suit, It was 100 degrees, and I had a woolen suit on. Remember? You know how that goes,
Sounds miserable.
My mom said, "This is a suit. Didn't see show." Yeah. That was my first suit I got, too. This, I only know that my mom and dad on this side over here, and those were friends of theirs, but I
This
don't.
side here is your mom and dad?
And that's about all I know. I can't tell you about it anymore.
Your dad's dressed in the bibs.
Yeah, like the old man here now.
Did you guys wear bibs a lot when you were growing up?
Yes, it seemed like that was and even my dad did. Yeah.
Did the girls wear bibs?
No, I don't know. I think they always wore dress that I remember. I mean, as long as I know.
Yeah.
I mean, the only time that Rachel started, once times have changed, you know. I mean, it. But she was a dress. She loved to dress pretty. And this is the gang.
This is the gang?
Yeah.
And okay, let's go left to right. Right
That's
here.
Donnie.
Donnie. Is it I-E or Y?
I, yeah, Donovan is the, but anyway. Emery is in the next. Then, of course, the main man.
Main man. I'll put that main man. Okay.
And then the other one's the oldest one, Rodney.
Rodney.
And then this Ardell, you know, the one that owns the farm here.
Okay. And that's at your daughter's wedding, right?
Right. They were ushers. Ushers, yeah.
And your daughter's name is what?
Marianne.
Marianne.
And in there's a picture of their wedding and stuff like that too, yeah. And then this is where we done some road construction here. We're blading our driveway, Ardell and I.
Is that similar to what you would do back in the old days?
Yeah. You see, only this was pulled by horses instead. And then they changed, the county changed, or township changed it into tractor. You cut off the front wheels, you know, there's two front wheels in front and a thumb. And then over there is the gas stamps. Got to open up the inside, then you see the stamps there.
And this, want to tell us about what gas stamps were for you?
Yeah. Well, you couldn't buy gas unless you had a stamp at that time.
This is in the Depression years?
No, that was in World War II.
Years? Did that affect farming quite a bit?
Not really farming. I mean, but as you're driving, you know, I mean, you know, I don't know, I guess they just took precaution and wanted to save, you know, compared to what they do now, you know, I mean. But anyway, gas was only 25 cents then, you know. And I know when I started farming up here, you know, I had this John Deere tractor. I used kerosene, and that was 11 cents a gallon.
Okay, we're going to take some of these figurines that you have out so you can tell us a little bit about.
That's my John Deere, you know, first tractor. There's a toy, but anyway, the resemblance is out there. Ardell come out here this morning and drove it out for me. He put it in last night because we were supposed to have a weather storm and hail, and these are his show tractors, you know. He redone them all, you know, and he's got a McCormick in town too, and an Oliver in town, you know, that he's show tractors.
So how old were you when you got your first tractor?
Well, it was in 1943, just after the war.
So it was when were you already married at that time? Or?
No, I wasn't married yet, no.
Okay.
But my brother come home, and he had a McCormick tractor, that's what he wanted. And then you had to have a permit to buy a tractor at that time. So he come home and he got a permit to buy a tractor. And then that's the only John Deere tractor that the dealer got in, and we got it. And that was mine. Right.
So did you get to keep it when you got married?
Well, the dad gave it to me, yeah. Okay. And then my brother had the McCormick, the red one.
Okay.
Apple for the teacher.
Did you have a lot of apples around when you were growing up?
Well, only in the fall of the year you got a box, you know, I mean, and you got some to go to school until they were all, you know.
Is this similar to what a desk would look like?
Yes. There's one. I have desks in here in the house. But these are old ones, and I mean, see, my wife was an Avon lady, and that's what it is. Avon in. See, and that's Avon, and that's Avon. But this is a timer.
It kind of resembles an old cook stove.
Right. See here, you heated water, I mean, on the side, so you always had warm water. Yeah. And then the summertime, well, you didn't use these because that's when you used the kerosene stove, so you wouldn't have to heat. Yeah. I have an old kerosene stove down in the basement too yet.
You have a museum here.
And then I have an old battery radio, a cabinet one, that must belong to my father-in-law. That's the Royal telephone.
Is that what the phones used to look like?
Yeah. But I mean, the other ones are, they were wooden ones, we had those towards last, or the first, yeah. And then these were modern ones. Yeah.
So they're not the old
No.
phones.
And that's what gas pumps were like. When I went to high school, I got a job after school. You had to pump gas in there, fill them up with pumping with a handle. So I got to have a cent a gallon to pump. I mean, that's how I earned money, to go to basketball. We had to pay for our basketball trips, buy the gas and rent a car or whatever, And so, and I made 20 gallons, and I had 10 cents. So I had to pay 5 cents was the share of the gas, and I had 5 cents left. So I had to pop.
So when your wife was a cheerleader, were you a basketball player?
No.
No?
I quit high school, so I didn't play,
Okay.
No. But she was, her grade, was, whatever was it. But anyway, I just met her, and somehow, I don't know how it worked, but anyway, this friend of mine took me along that night, And after that, it was love at first sight or whatever you call it.
Okay. That sounds good.
Yeah.